Of your book?
The title is Female Nigerian American Lawyer.
Female American Nigerian.
Female Nigerian American Lawyer.
Okay.
A friend of mine, Julie, she talked to me about it. She told me it's a good project and she's involved in it. And she's been my friend and since my kids were babies. And I just like and trust her. I said, okay, you're associated with this, I'll do it.
And how has it been?
It's been amazing.
Tell me why.
I've met wonderful people. People who live their life not just for themselves. People who are thinking about others, who are trying to make a difference in other people's lives. And that brings so much joy to me.
I'm Michael Warren, and my book title is Gay White Male. So some people want to talk to you about their experience, maybe with a friend or somebody that they had in their lives. And some people just want to ask questions like, when did you know you were gay? How was the coming out process for you? All that type of stuff. I talked to one lady, she was in her 70s. She was hearing impaired and white. And I talked to another lady, I would say maybe in her 40s, 50s, African American. And very good conversations, and sometimes it's just about their lived experience. It's about listen. Sometimes the books have to listen, so that's our job too. Sometimes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And when you agreed to do this, did you feel nervous about it? Does this make you feel vulnerable?
All the above. But I am who I am. I have nothing to hide. So. The fact to be out there, that somebody recommended me for it, first of all, and thought that I would be a good book for somebody to read, I thought was tremendous.
And did anybody ask you any questions that you just didn't want to answer?
No.
Go over the boundary?
No. Sometimes you have to realize people, of course, are coming from all different types of backgrounds and things. So maybe they will say something that you'll be like, that's not really PC. But you just kind of go with it, Nobody that I have talked to, I felt, was here to offend me or hurt me or do anything like that. They truly wanted to know or relate their lived experience in conjunction with mine. And it's cool. I mean, to me, it's a very safe environment. We're here to share our lived experiences. And nothing could be better than that. The one-on-one communication we have, especially when we live in such a devices and digital time where everybody's glued to their phones.
I was asked mostly if it's hard to wear scarf or not, and yes, it's hard. It's hard during the especially like hot summer days. But I said I am a religious person, and this is like what I am. This is I'm a Muslim woman, and I want to wear my scarf, and yeah.
And where do you live?
Evanston.
Yeah, you live in Evanston. And where are you from?
Turkey.
Turkey. And how long have you lived in Evanston?
Like 8 years.
8 years.
I am home mom, and but I'm taking classes, and because at the beginning it was nervous. Like I was nervous, but like the people are very friendly and they are understanding. Yeah.
And have you ever experienced prejudice or hatred by people sort of on the street, or because you're identifiable as a Muslim woman?
Not not really, but some examples. Yeah, there are some. There is just few examples. Like in the school sometimes, like in like once it was in the school and once was in the playground and something like that. But it's not. It just feel. I cannot say it's. I faced with a discrimination or prejudice thing in my life here. It's just small. I think where I live it's very diverse, and Wisconsin is a very diverse place. That's why I don't face any.
What is the title of your book?
The title of my book is Holocaust, and I'm very, very fortunate that I'm able to be here. I'm a survivor. There were less than 10% of prisoners from the Holocaust that survived. It's my passion to spread the word to as many people as possible. We need to avoid hatred, we need to respect each other, we need to be kind to each other, and we need to understand each other. And I think we'll find, even though we're different, we may be different in color, we may be different in religion, but I think we'll find that we have more similarities than differences. I live in Barrington, so it was quite a way, but I'm glad I came.
And when did you come to the United States?
I lived in Canada from 1960 to 1962. I worked for a Danish food company, and then I was transferred to United States in 1962, and I lived here ever since. And I retired in '99, and I self-published a book, A Danish Boy in Theresienstadt.
Theresienstadt, okay.
Theresienstadt is the camp I was in 2012, and that's when I started talking about it. I grew up in Denmark. I went to school in Denmark. I went to college in Denmark, and I was in camp between the ages of 8 and 10. That's when I was in concentration camp for 18 months.
And what happened to your family?
My mother and I survived. We were very fortunate, and we appreciate that. We're very grateful. Unfortunately, my father passed away. He died of starvation. We didn't get enough food. I stayed with my mother, which was very, very unique. Normally, I would have stayed in a dormitory for children. My father was in the same camp, but he stayed in a separate barrack.
And you were an only child?
Yes, I was the only one.
And how does it feel to you to talk about such an unbelievably painful time?
It was a little difficult in the beginning. I'm a member of the Speakers Bureau at the Holocaust Museum in Skopje. And since 2012, I spread the word to about 65,000 people, mostly students. And I hope to continue to do that. And my goal is to talk to 100,000 people. And every time I talk to a group, I always ask them to help me spread the word. They ask me, how do I feel about the Nazis? Could I forgive the Nazis?
Did you have a faith in God before you were a little kid?
I don't know if I did as a little kid. I don't know that I fully understood it. But during the time in camp, many of us lost faith in God because where was God? One person who wrote about it said maybe he was on vacation, but he did show up, he did emerge and help us liberate. We got liberated after 18 terrible months in camp. We got liberated from camp in 1945.
So tell me your name.
My name is Lindsay.
And where are you from?
I'm from Evanston, Illinois.
And you are here at the Human Library.
Yes,
and you are a book.
Yes.
And what title is your book?
My title is Learning Differences.
What made you decide to be part of the Human Library today?
So people could learn about how I feel about being a person with disability.
When you agreed to do it, did you feel nervous? Did you feel like it would make you feel vulnerable? Or were you excited?
I felt more excited.
Were you excited?
Excited that people would learn about me and it makes a difference. How people act around people like have differences.
And what kinds of things did people ask you?
More about like my situations, the challenges I went through, how I overcome them.
And can you talk a little bit about that? What kinds of disabilities do you have?
The nonverbal learning disability. I'm not able to read certain cues or body language.
And how does that affect you?
It affects me that I can't understand it, and it then it makes me overwhelmed and doesn't make me want to interact with certain people.
What can people do to make it easier for you?
If they know how I'm feeling, then they can be more understanding and of how they react to people like me.
Did people ask you good questions? Did you feel good doing the interviews?
Yeah, I felt really good. Felt like they're understanding.
Adnana. And Adnana, where are you from?
I am from Chicago, originally from Bosnia.
What are the most common questions people ask?
A lot of people have asked what are some of the challenges that I face on a daily basis, and probably what is something that I want them to take away from having spoken with me.
And how have you answered those questions? What are the challenges you face?
Challenges, I'd say, having been blind for over 25 years, it's hard to say that anything's a challenge, but probably just the usual of getting from point A to point B and getting people to understand that, even though I may be different, I'm still a person. It's okay to approach me, and I still do things as anyone else does.
What kinds of experiences have you had with people being sort of rude or insensitive?
I'd say one of the biggest things is if I have someone with me, they will talk to the person I'm with instead of me. And, what does she want on that sandwich? What does she want to drink? The other very common thing is instead of asking me, do I need help, they will just, put their hand and push me one way or other, and it's like, no, you don't do that. You just ask, do you need help, and or how may I help you?
So you weren't born blind?
No, I had retinoblastoma, which is a type of cancer when I was younger. So I came here for treatment.
And then now you live here?
Mm-hmm. And I've been very fortunate because I feel that everything I have achieved, that would have not been possible if I didn't come here.
What was interesting is what kind of a book am I going to be, because I'm a lesbian, a Muslim, an immigrant, and asylum seeker, because I came here seeking asylum as a homosexual.
From where?
From Egypt. And I said, yeah, I have been contacted by other people before, but I wasn't ready to tell my story. I was like, yeah, I think I am, especially with everything happening around us. I am ready to talk. I am half Egyptian, half Sudanese, and I was born in Kuwait. So this was my home until Kuwait was invaded by Iraq in 1990. Then we had to leave to Egypt. And I lived in Egypt for 11 years. Then I came here seeking asylum as a homosexual.
By yourself?
By myself. And another 3 gay men, all of us were granted asylum due to fear of persecution, to a big case that happened in 2001 when the police raided a bar of 52. They arrested 52 men, all of them were Egyptian, and let the foreigners go. And one of them was my friend, and the other one they let him go because they thought he was a foreigner. It's a big case. In that time, like all over the world, they knew about it because a lot of international amnesties were like in Egypt trying to defend these people. So because of this, we sought asylum, and we were granted asylum in the U.S. because of that.
And how old were you when this was going on?
I left Kuwait, or I was forced to leave Kuwait when I was 26. I came to this country when I was 37.
How was it growing up, lesbian, Muslim?
When I left Kuwait, I was the oldest, or I'm still the oldest. I had 2 brothers and a sister, and both my brother and my sister were starting university, and my little one was in middle school. Within 2 years, my dad got 4 brain strokes, and he became a kid. He was the provider because my mom didn't work. So I took his place. I worked day and night to provide for all of them, the sick and the rest.
And you were how old?
26. I worked as a science teacher in an American school because all my education was in English. So I worked day and night giving private lessons after schools. I worked so I can take care of all of them. And then when this happened in 2001 and all of them finished school and started working, I said maybe it's time for me to live. I came here.
And did they know, did your family know that you were gay?
They knew when I came back here. After a year, they never even knew why I left. They didn't know that it was because I didn't want to be arrested. And if everyone knew that I was arrested because I was gay, their life would have been ruined. So they didn't know that I also left because of that. I just came out to them and I said I was gay. And my 3 siblings my mom didn't know. But she knew, but she never talked. I've never came out to her.
And she doesn't know today?
My mom passed away 2 years ago. My dad passed away in 2008, and I couldn't go back because when you seek asylum,
you're done.
You can't go back until you got your citizenship. I got my citizenship in 2014, and this was the first time to go back to see my mom. And 2 years after she died.
And where do you live now?
In Andersonville with Cindy. She's my fiance.
And so are you glad that you came to America?
I wanted to build myself again and live and be who I am, and I was able to.
What kind of questions did people ask you? Was there anything surprising or shocking or...
What was interesting is people were wanting to know and understand, and a lot of these people have connection with you. So the first one had a connection that she's American 100%, but her ex-husband is Egyptian. She didn't know that I was from Egypt, and her daughter is half Egyptian. So this is a connection, would you think? You know, the other 2, they're African. One of them was like from Africa. So, the third one, he was from Portugal. So he came here when he was 8. People come to connect, and
I guess the difficult thing is that people who are attracted to this kind of event aren't the people we really need to be talking to.
And this is what one of the things, who's gonna come to this event, it's gonna be by their choice.
Right.
You know, but how can you put this outside to the people? Then instead of them coming to you, I think we need to go to them.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, it's a good experience. Yeah, take care. Bye.
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 It's really heartwarming when you see somebody that's willing to sit down with you and make that communication and make that bond with you, even if it's only for 20 minutes. They're at least willing to be there to talk to you, and that's really cool.
In this country, you have chances. Take them.
There's also too much hatred in this country that concerns me. We need to be kinder to each other. We need to respect each other.
Our children are our future, our tomorrow. And, I've told people, if you know children of your own or someone else's children, when that moment arises, they're curious by something, let them go and ask. Because that's one way that's an educational moment for them, and that's a better future for us all.
And do you